Hey, I'm Dr. Ken Berry, family physician, and in this short video, we're going to explore the question, is coffee bad for you? Coffee has been vilified by many sources. Even some religions are anti-coffee. Human beings have only been drinking coffee for the last 500 or 600 years, so I think it's a valid question and we should look into it. If you know someone who loves coffee or you know someone who hates coffee, please consider sharing this video with them. You can share it on all your social media and help me reach more people and help them understand both their medical health and their nutritional health issues. Now, let's talk about this. There are so many myths and superstitions and rumors out there about coffee. It's got to be bad, right? We've all heard that coffee stunts your growth. My grandmother, when I was growing up, forbid me to drink coffee. I had to sneak and drink my cousin's coffee. Many people will say pregnant women should absolutely avoid coffee. It's bad for them or for the developing fetus. A lot of people say that you'll become dehydrated if you drink coffee because of the diuretic effect of the caffeine. You've heard that coffee causes heart disease, cancer, osteoporosis. We're going to go into all this stuff and figure out what the truth is. What does the research show? What's the common sense show? That's what this video is going to do. The first thing you should know about coffee is that many of the myths that you've heard, and you may actually believe some of them, most all of them come from a man by the name of C.W. Post. He had a coffee-like drink that was basically brewed wheat germ and molasses that he was trying to compete with coffee back in the early 1900s. And so he would buy full-page ads in different magazines and newspapers saying that coffee caused this, coffee would stunt your child's growth, coffee would hurt you in this, that, or the other way. That's where many of these myths came from, and that's why maybe your grandmother also forbade you from drinking coffee because she was afraid it would harm you in some way. He advertised so ubiquitously that it became part of the national culture that coffee may be bad for kids of pregnant women. There definitely are a few negative consequences from drinking coffee, but most of them are cosmetic, self-limited, and not dangerous at all. If you drink too much coffee, you may get irritable, or you may notice that if you drink too much coffee that it uncovers your essential tremor and seemingly makes that tremor worse. If you drink coffee within 6 hours of bedtime, you may have some insomnia that night. Now, that's not true for everybody. My wife can have a nice roasted cup of tasty coffee right before bedtime and sleep like a baby. I, on the other hand, have to stop my coffee about 6 hours before bedtime. There does seem to be a mild habit-forming effect with coffee, so if you drink coffee for a few months and then try to stop it cold turkey, you may have a little increased irritability and even a headache for a few days. That's about as bad as the withdrawals get. Now, there are a couple of medical things that drinking lots of coffee, and when I say lots of coffee, I mean more than 3 cups a day, because almost all the research I'm going to talk about later on in this video were based on 300 milligrams or less of caffeine, which is about 3 cups of coffee a day worth. Some people, it looks like that drinking lots of coffee might raise their LDL cholesterol a tiny bit or raise their triglyceride level a tiny bit. But in both of these subpopulations, it doesn't seem to raise these two amounts a meaningful amount, meaning it's not going to affect your health in any way if you drink 4, 5, 6 cups of coffee a day, but it may make these numbers a tiny bit higher. Now let's talk about all the good things that coffee has been shown to do for the human species. And these things are based on both observational research, but there's also quite a bit of controlled research that's been done on coffee because a lot of young researchers grew up trying to prove coffee was bad because of C.W. Post's advertisements and the effect it had on their grandparents. But so there's way more controlled research about coffee than you might imagine, but some of these benefits are based on observational research, which, as you probably know, don't prove anything. So definitely coffee has been shown to increase your energy level. It's been shown to increase your alertness, to increase both your short-term and long-term memory. And some of these have been done in controlled trials. It's been shown to increase your physical performance. And it probably does this by decreasing your reaction time physically, which it absolutely does do. For many people, it actually helps them enter ketosis easier because it helps you break down fats that are stored in your body and burn the fatty acids. That's a good thing. That actually can help you lose fat, which coffee has been shown to do in a couple of small studies. And then also in some of the larger observational studies, it looks like it's associated with not having a high BMI. Coffee has been shown in large observational studies to be associated with increased mood, to be associated with an increased health span and an increased lifespan, to be associated with a decreased risk of type 2 diabetes, cancer, dementia, and Parkinson's disease. But of course, that's observational. That doesn't prove anything. It's just associated with that. Coffee actually contains magnesium, manganese, and vitamins B2, B3, and B5. And if you're a big believer in antioxidants, it's a fun fact to know that coffee provides more antioxidants for the average American than all of their fruit and vegetable consumption combined. Now let's get back to those myths that CW Post made very popular. There's absolutely no controlled, meaningful research showing that coffee will stunt your child's growth. None. In fact, in some countries in Central and South America, children are weaned straight off the breast milk onto coffee, and they grow up tall and beautiful, so that's probably not true. The myth that drinking coffee is bad for pregnant women, this has been studied quite a bit in medical and nutrition research. There is no link. If a woman's drinking 1, 2, or 3 cups of coffee a day, it's perfectly fine for both her and her developing fetus. The dehydration myth, in case you didn't notice, coffee is 99.5% water. So you at worst break even by drinking a cup of coffee as far as your hydration status goes. Coffee does not cause dehydration. The other myth that coffee can cause heart disease, cancer, strokes, osteoporosis even. None of these are bear out in the medical and nutritional research. Coffee doesn't do any of those bad things that CW Post said that coffee would do. Therefore, it's perfectly safe for you to drink 2 or 3, maybe even 4 cups of coffee a day. You're welcome. So yeah, if that makes you happy, you're welcome. If you're surprised by this video, then yeah, I'm going to put all the research links down below in the show notes so you can check out the research that I read making this video. Please, if you like this kind of video and want to get notifications about videos like this in the future, click the subscribe button right down below this video and the little bell button right beside it so that every time I have a bright idea, you'll be one of the very first people to know. And if my videos have helped your health in some small way, or if you're very happy to learn that coffee is good for you, not bad, then please consider becoming a patron. My Patreon link's right down below. It's a super quick sign up. You can throw $1 or $2 my way to help me have more time and more resources to make videos just like this. This is Dr. Berry. Enjoy your coffee. I'll see you next time.